Today, I'm going to share with you a quick and relatively inexpensive fix for the P0171 and 174 engine trouble codes. For a couple of months now, my check engine light has been intermittently coming on and then going back off, and it finally got annoying enough that I decided to plug in my fixed code scanner. This is a nifty little scanner to have. It's not terribly expensive. It does not require a subscription or annual fee. It works on all vehicles. It does have I don't know if it's called a pro plan or something like that. If you want to upgrade to something that gives you more information about what the problems are, how to fix them and stuff like that. But this thing I've had for a few years. It is just a fantastic tool to keep in your toolbox. I'll put a link in the description below for this. When I scanned the system with the fixed scanner, it told me that the fuel system was too lean on both bank 1 and bank 2, which is a P0171 and 174. This led me to believe the issue is not isolated to injectors on one side or the other, which kind of guided me on where to look for the possible problem. Now, computerized controlled engines are designed so that all of the sensors work in concert, and anytime one sensor goes out of whack, that's when a trouble code is tripped and your check engine light comes on. Either a soft code where it comes on and goes back off, or a hard code where it comes on and stays on. In this case, it tripped 2 soft codes. And one of the things to consider is the fact that there are oxygen sensors in the exhaust. Sometimes there's one mounted on each exhaust manifold, and other times there's one mounted on one side and then another mounted further down the exhaust pipe. The other important sensor in this case is right here. That is the mass airflow sensor, so that all of the air that comes in through the filter and into the engine goes through this sensor, so it knows how much air is entering the engine. But when these numbers don't jive with what's going out of the engine and the readings that the oxygen sensors are giving, that will trip a code. In this case, both codes. And since it's both codes, that makes me believe that the issue is going to be somewhere in here. It could be this is dirty and not reading right, but the first thing I decided to do was check this hose, because this is a common issue. And as you can see here, this hose has a hole in it. What's causing that to cause a problem is the fact that this reads how much oxygen is going in the engine, how much air is entering the engine, and that's not jiving with the other sensors. That is because there's oxygen bypassing the sensor and coming in. And so the numbers don't add up, and that's what triggered the code. Fixing this issue is as simple as replacing this hose. And so I went over to Amazon. I was able to buy this replacement hose, and this one does not come with clamps, which was not an issue for me because all of these clamps are in good condition, so I don't need new clamps. Sometimes they do come with it. If you're not sure, it's always safe to spend a couple extra bucks, buy it with new clamps. Now, this is one that's made in China. It's a no-name brand, and for this car, that's going to do the job I needed to do. Now, you can buy an actual real Honda replacement part. It's going to cost you about $30. For this one, I think I paid $22, and you can pay as little as $16 depending on your engine. But just to give you an idea, it's not terribly expensive of a fix, and if you want to go with a Honda, it's not that much more money. The other great part about this job, in addition to the low cost to fix, is its simplicity. You'll need a screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver, to remove this clamp and loosen this clamp down here, and then possibly need a pair of pliers to take this one off, but it actually doesn't look that strong. Yeah, so you can actually just squeeze that with your fingers and move this clamp off. Now, easy as that. Now that we have it out, you can really see how big that hole was. There could be a lot of air going in there, a lot of dirt and dust and junk that you don't want entering your engine. You want all that air to go through your filter. So next, we just need to take the clamps, these 1, 2, 3 clamps, off of this hose, put it on the new hose, and as you can see, these area that holds the wire loom is the same. This nipple over here is the same. Everything looks like it should fit up just perfectly. Now that all the clamps are switched over, that was super simple. It's a matter of just getting this put back into place. I would start with connecting that pipe first, getting this slipped into place, and then doing the other two, basically putting them back together in reverse order. Perfect. One challenge I had with the new hose is that it wasn't perfectly round on this end where it goes onto the throttle body. So it took a little bit of doing to get that slipped into place. And also it probably wouldn't hurt if you had a little bit of silicone grease or something just to slick the surface up a little bit. That would help it slip on easier too. All that's left on this engine side is to tighten these two clamps and then go back in and clear the codes on the computer. And I should have the answer of whether this fixed it really within a few hours, because this light comes on pretty frequently. That's all there is to it. So give yourself a pat on the back for a job well done. Between the parts and diagnostic fee the shops charge and their shop rate, you probably just saved yourself a couple $100. Good job.